No.
We're going to
I saw him
pause
the other day, I didn't
items.
know it was him.
Okay, we're going to have the reading of the mission statement. To provide, promote, or facilitate municipal services that meet the community needs while preserving, supporting, and enhancing quality of life for all. Now, I would like approval of the agenda, but first of all, the presentation by Warden Linda Gregory will not be done tonight due to having to leave before 7 and returning as soon as I can after. I've been called back to work.
You want to put this on the next meeting?
Or whenever it's available, we'll check and see if maybe someone else first, they get first dibs.
I'm just going to move to future meeting.
I'll second that.
I'll move the agenda as amended.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the, oh, certainly. Is there an addition? We've had an amendment. Oh. Okay. Thank you.
Actually, we're supposed to let her know by Thursday if we want to add it.
Okay, the next is the approval of the minutes of council of July 22nd, 2013.
I move the approval of the minutes for council of July 22nd, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Business arising.
Oh,
First, I will ask Councilor Manzer.
Nothing, no.
Now, Councilor Tudor, you have dumpster.
yeah, I've been talking to some people on the islands, and there's a gentleman that is capable of keeping people from dumping things that they're not supposed to in the dumpster. And with the FCDA, municipality, and the gentleman who picks up the dumpster, we'd like to have a meeting, talk about the rules, exactly how it's supposed to be, and then hopefully they will be followed. I know in the past there's been problems with it, but now they'll have to go into someone's private property, and they won't be able to put anything there unless he's there physically. And he's there quite a bit, so he's kind of home a lot, that gentleman.
My question will be, is the C&D going to be paid for by the people that are putting it in the dumpster?
Yes, there'll be the same fees as before. Except that the gentleman who's now going through the trouble of dealing with it is going to collect those fees for his difficulty.
Okay, so what you're asking for is us to have a meeting to meet with this person to look at a contract with him.
Essentially, yeah, into any problems or concerns. Essentially, it's going to be the same way as it was run before, except now it's going to be private
Council
property.
already passed a motion to remove them,
Yeah.
so you're asking council to reconsider.
Yeah, Gordon was involved to a certain degree also in, he sent some letters out to different organizations. I know he was talking to the FCDA about finding if there was any other possibility using, remember we wanted to use a local group as
Yeah.
opposed to an individual?
And I thought when council had made their decision that all of those avenues had been dead ends.
But now they're not. We managed to finally, after a long time of looking and talking about it, we found somebody.
Are the dumpsters still there?
No.
They have been gone, we made that decision.
Yeah.
What you're asking us is just to have a meeting with this person and hear what he has to say.
No, the FCDA has requested, the Freeport Development Center Association, I guess, I'm sorry.
Is there a letter come to council?
Yeah, they sent it today. But
Jimmy?
I can pass it through.
In regards to this, I think we need to have, first of all, two things. I'd like to have staff give us some financial cost of what this is going to be. And secondly, I don't think we should be talking about it anymore tonight until we get some more information. You said a letter just came in to you.
Yeah, right here.
It didn't come into council.
No, it was sent to council, but I got it today.
Well,
Well, they sent it earlier, but I didn't receive it. It's dated September 13th, but I did not get it September 13th. I got it today.
I guess what I mean is it should have been in our package for discussion for tonight. Where it isn't, I think it needs to be referred to the next meeting.
Okay,
And at that time, maybe we'll have more information.
great.
And then if we do go forward, I think we're going to have a meeting with this person to determine, and there would also have to be a contract drafted, because we just can't go, if we're going to do this again, we just can't go put dumpsters down there on goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, but I think some other work has to be done, and it's just not going to get done tonight.
Yeah, we also don't want to end up in the same situation as we had for those other dumpsters for 10 years.
We're not going to.
Well, that's the plan.
That's why we had voted to remove them.
That's why also I look to solve the problems that people had for concerns in regards to those, and hopefully this will, and if it doesn't work, is a 6-month trial basis, is also kind of what they were suggesting. I'll send it through.
Send it to Linda and Pat, please.
Okay.
Okay. Counselor Adams, any? No. Deputy Warden McAlpine?
No.
Okay, or myself is no. The next is the Tri-County Women's Center request for Counselor Tudor to represent council.
I think this is a really important issue. I have good thoughts about this organization. It seems to be quite motivated, a real wide variety of community players, as you can see at the bottom of the letter that they sent as background for a request to speak to somebody. They have quite a list, and I would like this to become an official thing for me to do, committee. I see a real serious need. I get called, as you know, a lot about people. Right now, I'm dealing with that. Somebody needing to find a place to live because of the lack of rental housing in the area. Everything's either for sale or they don't rent. So it makes it difficult for people to find a place to live. It's a serious concern of mine. I would hope that council would agree that this is sort of thing that I should be on. With your blessing, I guess.
Can we do that, Linda?
Yes.
I won't make the motion.
No, you can't make the motion.
No.
Well, I don't know, just council can appoint
Yeah,
to whatever
anyone.
committee.
Yeah.
I don't know, financial commitment
There's no financial commitment with it whatsoever.
would be a different, other than mileage to meetings. That would be the only financial commitment.
So if we appoint him tonight, David, it's not retroactive to all the other...
No, of course not.
No, I'm just putting that out there.
No?
Yep.
From today on.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we appoint David Tudor to...
The Digby Area Affordable and Supportive Housing Group.
Yes, that.
I'll
Thank you.
second that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded?
You guys,
Motion carried.
you guys are awesome.
The next is the
That's what I'm passionate about.
Fire Inspector Association of Nova Scotia request for nutrition break sponsorship. Is that what
Yes.
Alfred belongs to?
Yeah.
Alfred belongs to, we supported this last year, although the conference was in our region. That's why they're asking us again this year.
I'll move that we contribute $250 to the Fire Inspectors Association of Nova Scotia for their conference.
Okay, is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I believe
That
that.
means in the program, it says that we are part promoting
Yeah.
a nutrition drink.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the program or a little tent.
There'll be something.
Tent notices.
Okay.
Okay, the next is the Me to We 2014 funding request.
No, if it's the vice president.
Me to we are going to Kenya. How do you feel about this? Oh, Deputy Warden?
It's a good cause, and don't take this the wrong way though, but I don't know, if we have monies for students to go to different events.
Mhm.
I don't know if this fits into that or not.
We have,
It may, but,
oh.
I don't think.
but, it raises a question for me that, at another date, I think we need to have a really good discussion on what are the parameters going to be on giving money out to people, because it's starting to get a little broad, and I don't know, they're all good causes, but I don't know what we can afford to continue to do.
I will mention that we have done this last year and the year before.
For
We
this group?
supported it. This exact thing.
I never heard of this before.
Oh, no, Meadoway, this is the kids that go to Africa. They've written letters here before,
This
last
is-
couple of years.
This is coming from the Family Resource Center.
Oh, I'm talking about the Meadoway.
Meet-a-wee.
Yeah.
Didn't meet, oh, sorry.
I don't know anything about the Family Resource Center in regards to them.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ritz and then you,
Didn't
George.
we come out of the Retaia Parsons?
No.
Thought it did.
No.
George?
I thought somewhere when I read that in there somewhere, like, she's going on vacation, and it sounded to me like she was partly on vacation and partly doing...
That's a different one. That's
That's Kesley.
Oh, that's another one,
Titus,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember seeing this one.
Or Kelsey.
It's saying that they want to help with giving building supplies for the school and to the Kenyan community. We hope they might be able to make a financial donation, will bring us closer to our goal. What I take it is they're asking for money, not for themselves, but for the school. When I read this, now maybe I read it wrong.
I've been involved with it for a few
And
years.
I
I do know a bit about it.
If you read the very, very end, though, it says...
We know it's difficult to give to everyone who asks.
Yeah.
But if you read the very end, it's saying that the third person that's going, I think it's the right one, that they had already received all the funding they needed. PSC,
Yep.
Oh, yes,
At the end,
yes.
yeah.
so our third team member has already met her financial goal, so any donations you make will now be divided between the two of us. So it's actually going towards the cost of sending the two people to Kenya. It's not to go towards...
Oh, okay.
I think what they do is they each raise $3,000. They put on multiple fundraisers. They, on the weekends, they wash cars, they collect bottles, that sort of thing. And they generally pool their resources so there's enough for everyone. But I think Faith, because she's on a different island than the other two, might have done some separate fundraising on her own.
Are these all from the,
Islands, so yeah, all three of
are
those
they all in
kids.
school?
Yes, they're all in school. They're all in grade 11, I believe.
Deputy Warden?
One other thing they do say is that in return for any contribution that we would give them, they'd be happy to help out with any of our work, a fundraiser or some other activity. So if we were to contribute to them, we could ask them to either help Dark or help, with the student, with...
Or the trails.
Well, something to do with our students here, like with the children here. They could possibly participate in something that we have going on locally as well. And then it could also come to council and do a report on the trip after they come back. I think we had that, we did contribute to somebody once before when they did go on a trip, and they came back to do a report on it. And I think if we were to give money to this organization and to these two students, that they would do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have no trouble with the report. They also travel around the Tri-County area that's in the school board and do presentations to the student bodies about volunteerism and all that sort of thing, and all the help and how much work they had to do. It's life-changing for them. They frequently come back from these and they show up and they're asked if they can help me with my food bank, they can help me with this. It really, really pounds in the whole volunteerism idea.
I'll make a motion through our student grant program?
I was just going to ask Linda.
Do we have funds still available in the student
There's
grant program?
funds available on that.
That we could contribute, what is it, $250 per student?
Yes.
Is that what we give?
Yes.
That we could contribute $250 to Paige Ivans and to Jessica Balser?
Yeah. They're both very
Is there
nice
a
kids who...
seconder to this
I'll
motion?
second that.
I have a question.
Oh, question.
250 to each, or 250 to be divided by?
250, isn't it?
Is it for the project?
Yeah, let's go with 250
Okay. 250 for the
total.
request.
Yeah.
250, okay.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded, motion carried. I think when I saw Tri-County, I was thinking women.
Yeah, the Tri-County
Next
School.
is RE Robichaud Limited, Wally DeVere's funding request.
That,
Deputy Warden?
in regards to this request, I'd like to see us maybe have this forwarded to our MLA and maybe through the Department of Tourism, that they could help him.
Yeah, because we're not allowed.
No.
We remember when we wanted to do it down in East Ferry, we weren't allowed because it was a private business.
Yeah, that's exactly right, but through tourism, they may have some program that they could offer.
Okay. So would you make a motion to move it to, send it to the MLA?
I would like to speak on this.
You can, but just a moment.
So moved.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
Okay, now discussion.
In regards to this, I think a letter of support that they do provide a service to the island. It's a very important service. It's the public washroom. And it's the public washroom. It's either that or the beach.
But
And I think a letter of support they might have been looking for to follow that is, as in we recognize the value of them offering that. Because I think he is aware, if I remember correctly, he spoke to me a few weeks ago about this. He is aware that the municipality can't really directly do anything. But a letter of support might be useful. That it's a useful and recognized service being provided by the business owner.
I would like them to ask us for a letter of support.
Okay.
I mean, that isn't what this letter asks.
Okay.
It's asking us for any help. And I think the help would be that we pass it on. So all in favor? Contrary minded, motion carried.
Madam Warden,
Yes, sir.
if things move as fast with, with this request to the Department of Tourism as with other things that we've sent, like about the mail and some of the other issues, it's going to be way past next spring before anything's done about this.
But we still can't help them.
But there's nothing we can do as far as even cleaning, providing with cleaning
Nope,
supplies, no help.
Against the MGA.
Well, then, like,
We already looked at it.
then there's something wrong if we can't help this guy, if he's down there and nobody's willing to help him. If the tourist people won't help him, and he's providing a service to those tourists and stuff, then somewhere along the way, somebody should be able to do something for him. And I can't count on the provincial government getting it done in 8 or 10 months.
Deputy Warden?
Provincial government may not even assist him,
Yeah.
but if they do, it would have to go through these channels, right? And the thing is, it's a private business. It'd be no different than going to any other private business, and if they came to us for a request to help them, are we going to do that? I mean, we're not allowed to, first of all.
Oh, I realize that we're not allowed to do that, but still, he's the only one providing a washroom there.
But I guess the point I take then is the business community on the islands that benefit from him having that facility there for their clients, they're the ones that should be helping him. I mean, if the whale-watching companies down there are the ones, their clients are the ones, based on this letter,
Yeah.
they're the clients for the use of that service, then he should be asking them for contributions to help keep the washroom up also. But
Yeah, in theory, that works good, right? But when you come right down to actually providing a washroom, come next spring, he's probably going to be the same situation, right? Not necessarily, but good chance of it's going to be exactly the same.
With us moving it up the chain to the
Yeah.
next level, maybe there's some programs in place that they will help him. I don't know. But that's where our hands are tied as far as financially helping them. I don't think we're not allowed to do it.
No, I mean, I understand that. It's just, it's a shame that as a person, as a private, small business, that he has to take on that cost, and I'm sure with the sewer and the septic and stuff, it's not made to handle the volume of people that he has probably in there. And
It's also,
maybe the provincial government will do something by next spring, but if they move as fast
But
as they
we
have
will,
on
but
other
we
things,
will
yeah.
forward, and we can do a check. Now, David?
also complicating the issue is that adjacent to that building is a whale watch, right? So, but even though everybody uses it, there is that little bit complicating it. What about data? Digby Area Tourism Association. Could they do anything? It's bathroom for tourists, because I recall hearing something about another business, something to do with data and bathrooms.
I don't know.
Years ago.
I just know before, when we asked, and we were informed very quickly, we weren't allowed to help. And because it's a private business, and they do all, in East Ferry, all the people are going there, waiting for the ferry. Now, they do now this past year, 2 years, but this has been over 15 years. And they put in bathrooms themselves, extra bathrooms. I don't think it's fair,
No, it's not.
but
All right, I may ask for some more information on this, and maybe you'll see it again in different form, but certainly, I guess we discussed this.
okay. The next is Kelsey Titus funding request. This one, it says a grad trip. We don't support grad trips.
I don't really understand. I think she might be making a mistake, not only on spring break vacation, but I think it is actual full-fledged volunteer vacation, like you go and work for 2 weeks, if whether you don't call that a vacation or not.
Well, I'm going on a grad trip. That's what it says.
Yeah, she should never, okay. The grad trip, certainly,
I wonder how council feels. But
Oh,
when I read
no.
it, I read it as a grad trip, which we have a lot of kids that go on grad trips.
What I've got mixed feelings on, because I don't understand, if they're going on a grad trip, what is she doing volunteering? Like, what kind of, she doesn't elaborate on what she's gonna be doing.
There's nothing.
yeah, she doesn't give enough details. I could always,
And I mean, and the only thing is, the only place I've traveled, or the it would be the only place that I've traveled with Maritimes. Well, that's not a reason.
No, but she says, I will also be doing volunteer work, but she doesn't go into details.
Yeah, is it 2 hours out of your trip of a week, you know?
yeah, exactly, need details. Maybe I'll ask her to provide more details along those points.
And maybe something from the school as well.
Okay,
Yeah, a letter from the school.
okay.
Usually
got
the
it.
guidance counselor helps with a letter as well. What guidance counselors do you?
I quite often help these
Just
things.
defer this until we get more information.
Letter from school.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the Acacia, Georgetown Acaciaville Conway Betterment Association, but,
Excuse me.
Jimmy, or Deputy Warden?
I attended a meeting with this association about a month ago, and they're really trying to work on trying to provide activities and do things with the elders in the community. And at the time, I suggested they talk to Clarendon Robichaud at Transport to Clare, because they were looking at also needing transportation. And I explained to them what Clarendon can provide. And since then, they've had a meeting with Clarendon, and he's going to be working with them. I think they're looking for a letter of support here on trying to, because they want to apply for a program that's offered by the provincial government. And
Yeah, it says that we're looking for partners.
and they're looking for partners on trying to go forward with the activities that they want to provide.
They've applied though to the positive aging grant?
That's what they want to apply for.
Well, they haven't done that yet.
I'm not, well, I gotta,
It's very similar to what the gentleman down the, in Weymouth area wants to do.
yeah.
Oh, it's a bus driver?
Very much.
one of the things they want to do too is they want to have the youth work with the elders and have activities that they can, work together. So there's a lot of good ideas that they've come up with and they want to work on. I believe that they're looking for a letter of support here, and I did express to them that coming to council for funding, we do our community grant monies in the spring. And I couldn't say that we'd have any monies available right now, but that if a request was to come forward before our next budget, that we may be able to help them in some way. So
Are you going to make a motion then that we send a letter of support?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Okay, the next is the CAO report. Meeting date. September 24th, 5:45, that's tomorrow, guys. Planning advisory. September 30th, 6 PM special council meeting. October 3rd, joint police advisory to be confirmed. That is on now. Isn't it? It's got to be confirmed, but
I'm still waiting to hear back. So you both can do that?
yeah, I had sent my thing.
I think I've heard from everyone.
Oh, okay.
I'm still waiting on the town side, but I think that they were good as well.
Okay. October 7th, bylaw and policy. October 14th is Thanksgiving attendance. October 15th, 6 PM, committee of the whole. October 21st, bylaw and policy, and October 28th, council.
All the periwinkles you can eat.
We're coming for turkey, and not seagulls.
Well, that's me. You got the turkey.
Okay. The next is the approval of renewal of temporary borrowing resolution.
This is the borrowing, originally, council passed a borrowing resolution for Municipal Finance Corp. And the borrowing resolution's only good for a year, so you just have to renew it. So I'm just looking for a motion to renew the borrowing resolution of $1,100,000.
I move that we renew the borrowing resolution, temporary borrowing resolution,
I'll second it.
In the amount of $1,100,000.
on the amount of $1,100,000.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is pre-approval of debenture subject to interest rate.
And this, again, is a letter that is required to be submitted to Municipal Finance Corp. In order to borrow the funds.
I move the pre-approval of debenture subject to interest rate.
I'll second that.
I'll second it
Is there a
then.
seconder, please?
I'll save it for you.
Okay.
Oh, you can tell I wanted it done.
You're heavy into that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried.
Excited about the debenture subject to interest rate motion.
Yes. All the interest goes to me.
Sure does.
Quicker she gets it done, the better interest rate we get.
Probably.
Well, if I get it, doesn't matter how.
We're sweating.
Okay, the Committee of the Whole action items are there. I do want to make a comment. I will be contacting the same company because what the concern is from Centerville to Sandy Cove, they have the same problem, and they're wondering if they can get in on this company. So I got the number from David, and I will be calling them. And there's even a place they're offering to put a tower in if it will help.
I've been phoning him weekly, and everything's coming along quite nicely. So any problems that have arisen have been easily solved. And this is also, I'd like to point out, I'm very happy about this. This came out of my economic development plans, the 3 meetings that we had, about 90% of the 80, 90 people that came, internet, high-speed internet. And I've also gotten recently letters of people that were going to move to the islands, a family of 3 children, and they discovered that their internet home business, which they make a living from, was not compatible with the rate of speed for the internet. I drilled a little hole in the side of that. So this is a real opportunity, and they've been very communicative, and the community certainly seems to be behind it. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback.
Okay. The transfer of Westport School, what we're doing next is holding a public hearing pursuant to Section 50 and 51. Lack of lighting at the post office box, that just seems to be in its own little world.
I have a question, Linda. The council holding public hearing pursuant to Section 5051.
Yeah.
Should I get a hold of them and try to
No,
just let them do it?
no, we do it.
We hold
Oh.
a public hearing here.
Okay, right here.
Yeah,
don't
we
have
do.
any of that.
Ooh, we're talking about doing it down on the islands, the public hearing, because it is there where what we're
No, we
dealing
hold the
with.
public meeting here.
It's a
Honey.
public, it's a hearing.
It's a
not like
hearing.
It's a public, people have an opportunity to write in. It's for people that would be opposed, anyone who would be opposed to that.
Okay. I recall that maybe both of you weren't at that meeting. Is that right?
No, I was at the meeting. We
You're
talked
out there.
about it, possibly holding it down there where it was impacting that community and the school was in that community, but we didn't make a firm commitment, but we just thought if
Makes sense.
we could do it there, that's where we would have it.
That's where you want your next council meeting?
Well, is that where you have it at a council meeting?
Yeah, just before your council meeting.
Well, typically, that's what when we have a public hearing, we usually have it just before a regular council meeting.
I can
Fine, it can be
arrange for us to have a council meeting down there quite easily in any of the villages that you wish.
I will pick November the 30th or 29th. And it's fishing time.
Hey, wait a minute. I was like, she's up to something. It took me a second to clue in.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, well,
But usually the hearing is, you do by letters anyway,
Yeah.
if you're opposed or...
And people have to make application to speak. It's not like a public meeting.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Yeah.
a public hearing.
Okay.
I think they've had public meetings.
Oh, the 3 or 4 at this
Yeah.
point?
So like a hearing is more like an
The formal.
to advertise it in the paper.
Okay.
And it's not just for people there, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
So
it's-
anyone that may be opposed to it has an opportunity or in favor of it. So it's not just, anyone who comes can be heard.
Okay.
It's not just for people in Westmore.
Okay.
Deputy Warden?
I'd like to make a motion to formally accept the letter from the Village Commission of Westport to determine how costs associated with the transfer will be shared.
Or a seconder?
I'll second that.
So council's going to, it's on the agenda, it's a recommendation from the committee of the whole, we can do it now.
Oh, recommendation from me, oh, okay, yeah, okay, it comes up later on.
Yeah.
I'm just reading you, we're going through it. I can hold off and do it later.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I have no problem with doing it now.
Okay, well, motion's on the floor, questions called.
Question?
Well, I guess the question is to accept the letter, but then is there going to be a discussion about how the costs are going to be?
That's what his motion was, for
To-
discussion, they accept the letter to discuss the costs.
To accept the letter formally and determine how costs associated with transfer will be shared, so, but we have to vote on the motion to accept the letter
Yeah, right.
first.
I don't have
The
a
motion would
copy.
be to actually transfer, to begin the process to transfer the school to
The Village of Westport.
the Village of Westport.
Okay.
So I'll make that a motion?
No, I
No.
just did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And you seconded.
They'll settle there. There we go.
Yeah.
We're in a hard time today, aren't we? Oh, Lee, anyway.
I think. it would-
Is this, is it,
I believe this issue's got to be broken up into 2 motions. The first is to accept the letter.
First, I think the motion should actually be, now I think, is to hold a public hearing. Because after you hear the public hearing, because there may be, council may change their mind. So the motion would be to hold a public hearing in order to just, regarding the transfer of the
Okay,
Westport.
so
But don't we have to have a motion to accept their letter formally, their letter of request?
Okay. yeah,
That's
we
what
can
I
do that.
thought that's what we had decided at committee of the whole, that we would refer, we would make a motion to send this off to council.
yes,
So-
it was. So
So,
the first motion is to accept the letter,
that's right, that's the motion.
formally
That's the
accept
one
the
on the
letter.
table.
That's the seconder. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The second motion,
Would be to hold a public hearing pursuant to section 50 and 51 of the NGA.
is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
I think the third part, we don't do until after the public hearing.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be getting ahead of ourselves. Oh, is it just me? Is it extremely hot in here?
No, it's not hot in here.
Sweat.
I think that was all of the committee of the whole and from her report, which I really like this format much better.
I do too.
Personally, it's 100% better.
It's reports for council as well, but it seems like there's more action items coming out of, that are still outstanding coming from the committee of the whole
Yeah.
than council. I did want to say that just this week, and it'll be included in your committee of the whole, we did receive a response from Southwest Health regarding ER wages, but it came in after the package was distributed or posted to the web.
Oh, okay.
So the last item, the council agenda item back from June.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll have that at committee of the whole, for the next council, whichever. It went through the environmental services, wastewater, transportation services, special projects, and the Healthy Eating Committee, I believe they have set up a meeting, and the meeting is...
I'm not sure.
Second.
October 2nd?
First page, right there.
Need-
October 9th.
October 9th.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
Okay. So that meeting has been dealt with, or is coming up. And then the shared services meeting
Just
is
before-
coming up on September 30th.
4 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
I'll bring
Did
my
you say there was a
helmet.
meeting in October for the Weymouth to Digby Highway 101? October?
There's nothing been set up.
No,
Not yet.
okay, okay.
Not yet.
Can I go back for a moment?
Yep.
The letter that we sent from the head office concerning staffing levels, did we have a big discussion?
I had a phone discussion with him and he indicated that we're very close to having a staff sergeant.
We have a,
He called me, and I am not on the review committee now.
Oh, really?
No, the
Was that
selection
after
committee.
our conference and
Yeah,
discussion we had with
Yeah.
everyone?
yeah.
We sat with our folks, should have talked to them then.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't thinking.
what's this about?
That's just the new staff sergeant position. The mayor and the warden were going to be on those committees, and they think that they can move a little faster right now. And I said, if that makes it better and quicker, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to get an update.
Okay. All right. The next is the July payables, under CAO report number 5.
I'll move the July payables of $1,074,876.86.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is the August payables.
Move the August payables of $514,686.77.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Financial report, July 31st and August 31st.
I'll move for acceptance of the financial reports for July 31st and August 31st.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. And then, of course, you had your municipal advisors report in August. Your correspondence was from the UNSM president, medic update, Sandy Cove Rural mailbox safety, the REN update, the Nova Scotia SPCA new leadership, Southwest Health update on progress of Digby Area Health Services Center, free programs for rural homeowners, and Warfrat Rally update and picture. Under council committees, committee of the whole, we did the Village of Westport. So now we have our 2013-2014 5-year capital investment plan details. Any questions? Yes, please.
Make a motion to approve the 2013-2014 5-year capital investment plan.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the 2013-2014 5-year capital investment plan summary. Or would
No,
that
that
one,
was the same.
that covers it?
Same thing, yeah.
Okay. Bylaw and policy recommendations, there is none. Now we're going to the advisory committee. Digby Source Water Protection Advisory Committee, Counselor Adams.
I wasn't at the last meeting, but I think the CAO was. Do we have a date for that?
The next one, I think, is this week, I think, September 26th. I haven't heard anything, but that.
No, I haven't gotten
They
anything.
established like quarterly meeting dates.
Yeah.
Probably 6 months ago, so that's, I think, based on that schedule, there's a meeting coming up on the 26th. I have my-
Excuse me.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't seen
Oh.
anything, so we may get something this week.
The next is the Heritage Advisory Committee. Counselor Tudor, Counselor Adams.
The last meeting, they didn't have a quorum, so we just sort of talked about things a little bit. Wasn't an official meeting. Rob will be attending for the municipality a 3-day conference in White Point Beach, is that where it is?
Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah. And I thought it was an interesting conference, but I have meetings and I won't be able to attend, but hopefully Rob will have a good report.
Did you want to make a comment about the modules?
Yes, we had a rededication of the Mount Lewis site on September the 14th. Warden and Deputy Warden attended as well as us, and Ray Conan from the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia was there, and we had a really great turnout. I think there must have been at least 40 people.
That's good turnout.
Yeah, very nice. It turned out to be a very nice day, and I think everybody's quite pleased with how it's looking, and I see people every time I drive by, there's somebody in there, so it makes me very happy.
And the other is the Bayview United Church.
Oh, was that since we had our last council? Yes. The Heritage Committee, there was an anniversary, and there was a plaque presented to the Bayview United Church, and Warden Gregory, Councilor Tudor, and myself attended that one, and that was a very nice day as well.
It was, just to interrupt for 1 second, if I may, it was the most fun I've had at a meeting like that ever. Bluegrass music pumping. I thought it was just fantastic. I was ever impressed. I really liked it. Sorry. Just had to throw that out
Same group
there.
played at Maude Lewis.
Pardon?
The same group played at the Maude Lewis. wasn't it?
I might get a hold of him because I have to arrange something.
Very good.
There wasn't prayers and stuff?
I think there was.
They did a couple of
I have nothing against prayers.
older songs. Yeah, but it was good, very good.
Going on church.
It's church.
The Planning Advisory Committee is myself,
Our favorite
Counselor
one.
Adams, Counselor Tudor, and we are actually meeting tomorrow night. We have not met since June.
We're going to get a look at the first draft.
Yes. The next is the Police Advisory Board. Again, that meeting is taking place on October the 3rd at 6 p.m. hopefully, and it will be as a joint board with the town.
Just a note there, Pat, you could take my name out of there. I've been,
Off that police advisory.
yeah.
board.
That's right.
This is mine, it's-
The next is the Remo Advisory Committee. Warden Gregory, Deputy Warden McAlpine. We had the Red Cross launch, Digby, the Red Cross launch pictures. The town, or the mayor came first, the warden was third. It's very sad, asking my personal opinion. We are having a Remo meeting, is it October?
I don't remember when the next one's scheduled.
Thought it was October, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it could be, I don't remember. Have to check.
But that's all we've had so far. Western Regional Housing Authority, R. Fitzgerald, that report's not due, be next month. Age-friendly community planning meeting, we already know the meeting is scheduled for October the 9th, not the 2nd.
No, that's a different one.
Age-friendly community meeting is the
Yeah, the
second.
second is the age-friendly.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking
We
you're
have a
healthy.
place, is it here? Yeah. At what time? It's okay,
I think it's one, but I'm not sure. It's in the calendar.
The next is the airport working group, Deputy Warden McAlpine, Counselor Adams.
There hasn't been a committee meeting, but last week I attended Altitude East Conference in Halifax in regards to the airport. It was a good conference, it was good networking, and I had an opportunity to meet with 3 different airliners to talk to them about potentially using our airport. There's one company out of Quebec that I'm quite really interested in. They're called Pascan. They're starting to branch out into the eastern part of the Canada more. Right now they've mainly been in Quebec since 1999 is when they started, but they've got 15 locations in Quebec they fly to. They just started a new flight into St. John's, Newfoundland, and one into Moncton, New Brunswick. They go to Bathurst, New Brunswick. They go to the Madeline Islands or whatever. I think there's some opportunities there possibly, but it's something I'd like to see us continue to pursue. I think they take freight plus passengers, so it may be a way to connect. And it wouldn't be like a connection to Halifax. It would be possibly a connection to Moncton, then on to Montreal. So there could be opportunities there. I think what we need to do, though, is try to find out if we were to pursue a service like this, how well would it be received by the community? And I'm thinking also where it would go into Quebec, that I'd like to maybe have an opportunity to talk to St. Anne's University and see if would be a demand on their end, if there'd be any usage. So it's something I think we need to do some work on. And
I agree.
but they have like 27 airplanes, and they fly about 80 flights a day to about 20 locations. So
That's nice.
yeah, and it's a good thing. I think it'd be a good opportunity for us.
I'd just like to say thanks to the deputy warden for taking leadership on this issue. It's very nice that he's out there checking these things out. I thought it showed good initiative. I just wanted to say that, really, a very good idea.
Thank you.
Now, at this time, I'd like you to take over.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to leave my purse and everything, but if you fellows are finished before I get back, just
Take your
leave
keys.
it. Only thing I'm taking is my keys.
What's going on?
I've got to go to work.
Oh.
Also, on that airport,
Well, all right.
on that comment too, I just want to say that I also had an opportunity to talk to some of the key people at the Stanfield International Airport in Halifax, and that the chairman of the board and the president and CEO, I had dinner with them at a function, and the chairman of the board was very receptive on trying to help us if we ever wanted to need their assistance in any way. So I gave him one of our brochures. He looked it through page to page, and he commented to me back on it that it was very well done. So that was nice to be able to have that connection too. So
Right on.
All right, we're going to go on now to the Bay of Fundy Transportation Association. Morgan Gregory just left, but the AGM minutes and director's report and financial report were in your package. Digby Annapolis Development Corporation, we have a meeting scheduled for October. There hasn't been any meeting since the last council meeting.
Yeah, 9 a.m. at our municipal building, correct?
Yeah.
I think here, yeah, 21st.
Digby Area Learning Association, Councilor Manzer.
There wasn't a meeting in August. We have a meeting on this Wednesday. For,
Okay.
Have they moved into the building, or is it still
our meeting this Wednesday is scheduled for that building, so I'm assuming it must be usable, so.
Yeah.
Looks very nice from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like to get a little tour of
Probably going to have a grand opening or
I
reopening.
would think so. I don't know, like, I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
what
it. Haven't seen anything.
what's going on there, but I know our meeting is Wednesday is scheduled for there, so.
Okay,
Well, I will ask them about that, see if there's a chance for
a tour.
tour or whatever.
Okay. Digby Area Tourism Association, Councilor Manzer.
No meeting lately. Haven't been, no, in
Okay.
the summer there wasn't anything.
Digby Area Recreation Commission, Councilor Manzer.
Yeah, those things that are listed there are included. There's also, last week they signed the contract or whatever for letter of agreement for the 2016 Senior Curling Championships again.
Oh, good.
Yeah. They were trying for the 2015, but I think Port Hawkesbury had something else, some other curling championships, and they didn't want to kind of put two in the same province in the same year, so.
Okay,
So they optioned to us to take the 2016, which we did. There's also the junior hockey games again in November, the 2nd and the 8th, up at the Forum with the Canadian juniors. And that's about it. So the budget did get passed. What?
Did the tickets go quite well? For the-
I think they sold 200 or 250 tickets the first day they were on sale. That was like a week or a week and a half ago. So
Okay.
last week at our meeting, they said they had sold about 2 or 250.
when are they putting the ice in?
Didn't say, they didn't say anything about putting ice in June. I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Digby Development Agency, formerly the Industrial Commission, that's myself and Warden Gregory. We've got a meeting scheduled for this week, and for Thursday, isn't it? Thursday morning at 11 o'clock? No, that's not Industrial Commission meeting, that's a meeting with, didn't you get that?
Nope.
Not by the look on her face.
Is it a meeting with the?
Ben sent it off, he should have sent it to you. Wrap his fingers.
Oh,
Anyway, they're supposed to be meeting right here at 11 o'clock
on
on Thursday. And other than that, I don't think there's nothing else to report for this month. Digby Harbor Port Association, Warden Gregory's our representative. The June minutes and August minutes and financials are included in your package. Digby Library Committee, there hasn't been a meeting. Digby Municipal Fire Association, Councilor Manzer.
I think they had a meeting, but again, I lost contact with them. They didn't kind of call and let me know. So, I think they have a new president now, so maybe we'll,
Do they?
I think there is,
Okay.
so maybe we'll get on a contact basis.
Okay.
I don't know why it's so difficult.
It always has been. Highway 101 Task Force, Councilor Adams.
We haven't met since we had a
August.
meeting with Deputy Minister, Dr. McCrush.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have anything right now because of elections and all the other things that are going on.
Okay.
Although I did hear a nice rumor that there was discussion about the oil, so.
That's good. King's Transit Authority, Warden Gregory is our representative. You've got the June minutes and July reports and the July minutes and August reports in your package. Senior Safety Committee, Councilor Tudor, Deputy Warden McAlpin, Councilor Tudor.
We just had a meeting, I guess it was a couple weeks ago. We're coming up, we're past the 10th year anniversary, so there was a small committee struck to put on a party. It's definitely one of my weak areas that I've got plans, like you were saying, that wonderful band at the, I'm going to try to figure something out. I'm not exactly a party planner. It's not my strength, but I'm enthused to give it a good go. It's definitely something we're celebrating. It's 10 years, well, 11 soon, so we're going to try to squeeze it in.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll go well.
Can I get the minutes that were approved at
Oh,
that meeting?
yeah, I don't know if yeah, wait 1 second.
Councillor Adams.
Just on that note, I did go to the seniors expo at the high school on Saturday.
Okay.
It was quite a good turnout. There were a lot of booths there, and I'm sure that they had a good day. I only stayed for a little while in the morning, but the agenda looked very interesting.
That's good. Sept Regional Enterprise Network, REN 1, that's me. We had a meeting last week. We're working towards trying to get a REN up and running in this western region. We had a good meeting. It was a 3-hour meeting, and we've got a commitment to meet every 2 weeks until we get this resolved. And that was on Wednesday. Clare Council had a meeting Wednesday night. When we find out the outcome of that meeting, then we're going to go from there. And Barrington's meeting tonight, and we'll know what Barrington's going to do after tonight's meeting down there.
I saw one of the councilors at a meeting last week, and he said there was no decision made.
They didn't make a decision on Wednesday? Okay,
Because I asked him specifically.
all right.
Jim, is all the units, like, are you talking about commitment? Have they all committed to the REN, or are they?
That's what we're trying to.
That's what they're trying to.
Now. And what it is there's the town of Digby and ourselves, and the district of Clare, county of Yarmouth, the town of Yarmouth, Argyle, and Barrington that are all sitting at the table. The only unit that in this proposed REN is Clark's Harbor, and they've opted out right from the
Okay.
get-go. They've never attended any meetings. Barrington, I talked to the warden after the meeting the other day, and he was going to take it back to his council, and he's going to recommend they come into the REN, but he was going to have to see how his council felt about it. They're still having, I think, a few issues over, back when they had their last RDA, there were some issues, and some of the councilors are a little reluctant to get involved. And then with the Clare Council, they would like to use a person that they have on staff, and the committee, the REN committee, made a recommendation or suggestion on them taking it back to their council to see whether their council would support it. And if they don't, well, then the Clare won't be in. And so we're going to be meeting again, I think, on October the 1st. And we're going to be meeting in Argyle, and we're going to be working out the funding formula, and then we'll also, by that time, we'll know the commitment from Clare and Barrington, whether they're in or out. So, well, we'll keep you posted on that. That's all I have to report right now. Okay, where were they? Right there. Transport to Clare, Councilor Manzer.
No meeting the last month or two, no.
Okay. Digby Terrace, myself and Councillor Manzer.
I don't remember anything major. Did manage to get all the minutes from since last February, gathered them up and got them in, and I don't remember anything major going on last July. There wasn't any meeting in August. So.
We didn't have a meeting in August, and there was supposed to be a meeting coming up in September.
And it's been put off.
And that's been put off till October. And that there was a conflict. People had conflict on trying to make the meeting, and there really wasn't anything on the agenda pressing, so we're going to hold it in October. Upper Clements Park, Councillor Adams.
So we had a meeting on Thursday, and I didn't get the July. We didn't have a meeting in August, so I didn't get the July minutes in, but I will next time have July and September.
What was their summer like?
Well, the weather was an issue.
Yeah.
And they're working on it. There's not much they can do about that.
No. How's the adventure park?
The theme park's closed. The adventure park, again, the weather was an issue.
Yeah.
They're open until till I think Thanksgiving, just on the weekends, and then during the week, they can, groups can book. And he's really done a great job, the guy, that, bringing out, information to all these groups, like insurance companies and Boy Scouts and all this stuff to see if they might be interested in coming in. They've got an ad-on right now, 10 play, 8 pay, so.
I saw that.
Yeah, so they're trying all kinds of things, and it's the first full year for the adventure park, because it opened last year, didn't open until June, this time it opened in May.
Mhm.
All the final numbers aren't in yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know at the next meeting, or the next.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, Waste Tech, that's myself and the warden. We had a meeting about a week ago. Actually, we met on, we met on September the 9th. We had a presentation from the RFB. It was a good presentation, and it let us know the direction that they're going to be taking. And it's actually not a good direction for us, because the funding that they provide to the solid waste regions is going to be cut back, and they don't have the surpluses of money they used to have, and they're trying to work within their means. So in 2013, they contributed $4,351,000 to municipalities across Canada, and they're proposing in 2014 that's going to be $2,516,290. Don't get ready for that party already. So just by that, it's looking like almost like a 50% cut in funding from the RFB. So anyway, so that wasn't good news. There was discussion about the Mobius Awards, which is coming up on October the 16th, and we've applied again for that and Region of the Year. We've won it the last 2 years in a row, but this year too, where we've exceeded the provincial targets of 300 kilograms. We broke through that down to 292, so we're putting in an application for that as well, and hopefully we get it. There's going to be a shredding coming up. I think the warden mentioned it the last time we met. I just wanted to bring that up again, where people are going to be allowed 5 boxes or 10 bags to get shredded.
Do you have a date for that?
No, we didn't have a date yet. And the next waste check meeting is going to be on November the 18th at 10 o'clock. That's all I have for that. Any questions? Okay.
I think the shredding, I think, is October 22nd.
Okay.
I've got 11 o'clock here, I'm not sure if that's the right time, but that's what I
Okay.
have.
All right. The next thing is the Western Counties Regional Library. Had a meeting. I had a meeting last week, September the 19th. I became the chair. The meeting before this is my first meeting that I've had that I've chaired. We're looking at trying to. Well, we put together and compiled information on trying to find out what municipalities actually contribute to funding for libraries. And in doing that, like, we all put in operational money, but we also all put in capital money into the libraries that we have in our communities. So we compiled the information and brought all that together, because I feel that we needed that. So when we talk to the provincial government about increases of funding for the libraries, they'll see actually how much contribution does come from municipalities. Like right now, in the Western Counties Regional Library Board receives just over $1 million from the provincial government for operational funding. But with the amount of monies that municipalities put in, they contribute between the operational and capital. We put in right around $700,000.
What about the villages and stuff like that? Because I know they participate, like they own the buildings and
Well, this
pay
is
the power.
including all these. This is including everything.
So that would include
So,
Westport Village, for
yeah.
example. Okay, just wondering.
Yeah. And what else did we talk about? There's a conference coming up in November. called LBANS, Library Board Association Nova Scotia. I plan on attending that. It's in Truro. And they talked about a rural services study that's being done, and the review suggested a 5-year implementation plan. We've got some issues with this study that we've done, and when we go to the conference in November, we're hoping to get some answers. They're going to have a session to talk about that study, and hopefully we can get back, we can get some...
Like methodological errors, or?
Just, without going into all the details of the study, it's just, it was put together, and we felt we should have been able to have feedback into the report in the draft stage before it went back out as a final report to the government, and that didn't take place.
Well, that's
So,
a little odd.
yeah, well, anyway, so we've got some issues with some of the things that have been raised in the report, so.
I'd be curious to see that report. Is it for public consumption? Would I be allowed to?
I'm not
take a-
sure if it is yet or not, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'd be curious to, as a former worker of a library, at a library, I'm curious.
But the provincial government contributed the money to LBANS, and LBANS commissioned the report.
Mm-hmm.
But they're looking at, going forward with libraries in rural Nova Scotia, but concern I have is that I don't want us to lose any services we currently provide
Mhm.
to the communities.
Mhm.
And I'm worried that, they may look at, okay, this little library is too small and doesn't serve enough people. Well, I want to protect those.
Well, for example, ours on Westport
Right.
is, it's a tiny little village. The building is owned by the village, and the library pays 15 hours a week.
Right.
And that's there's not a lot of money to save in a situation like that by having less hours. The World Book Encyclopedia set would alone, which has not been taken off the shelf once in over a year, would be able to employ. You'd be able to employ someone for half a year instead.
Yeah. Anyway, when I get more information on that, I'll provide it to you. Weymouth Doctor Recruiting Committee, Warden Gregory and Councillor Manzer.
No meetings during the summer, I don't know. No.
Okay. I guess that's the end of those committees. Council reports. Councillor Manzer, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, just, a few things that we went on, in the last month and a half. Our Tideview Terrace meeting in late July. Port Days I attended on the Wednesday evening and Thursday morning out at the Pines. The Lions Club of Weymouth opened up a new playground at the cricket field, and so they had an opening for that in the middle of September or early September, I think. Then the regional meetings last week in Yarmouth, and then last Thursday night there was a meet and greet for a prospective new doctor who's not graduating till next June, but he was here visiting the area last week.
Okay.
Seem interested?
Yeah, they kind of all seem,
Yeah, I know.
and his girlfriend, and she was, seemed to be interested too. She said we would hope to see them back again next year. And she said, yeah, they would hope to be back. So I don't know. That's, but it's just
Cross our fingers.
yeah. So that's about it.
Okay. Councillor Adams?
I attended the celebration dinner at the a fundraiser for the Admiral Digby Museum and Smith's Cove Museum, and I've heard the last count was they raised about $15,000, so it was split between the two.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good. It was very nice. I also went to the first anniversary for the Y in Cornwallis, the anniversary. And that was, they had a small sort of they had a triathlon, but it was like way down from what you would think. So they swam the pool for 20 minutes, they rode their bikes for 20 minutes, and then they went on the track for 20 minutes. Those who wanted to run or walk, and so it was kind of fun. I didn't do that. I also attended the Port Days on Tuesday evening and Wednesday, and I attended with Warden Gregory the police conference in Amherst. It was the Chiefs of Police Association for Nova Scotia and the RCMP. And it was a great conference. It was much more relevant. There was a lot of, because of the Roteo Carson thing, we had a workshop on cyberbullying. We had 4 youths come and speak. They were grade 12 students from Auburn High, and 3 of them had been bullied all the way through school. And it was, I mean, one girl just started crying, and everybody sort of cried as well. And then the other one had actually been a friend of a bully, and so they just talked, and they said, you know, our bottom line is we don't want this to happen to anybody else, so that's why we're out there. It was a great workshop. And Peter McKay spoke at the gala dinner, and that was the night of Gabrielle. So the drive was horrendous. The weather was terrible. But anyway, he did get there a little bit late, but he did get there. I also already mentioned the Maude Lewis rededication. I went to the meeting at the Legion, at the fire hall on renewable energy and tidal turbines. And I went to the regional meetings last week as well in Yarmouth. That's it, I guess.
Okay. Councillor Tudor.
I sort of brought up a lot of it, like the internet stuff already discussed, the dumpster, food bank things. There's all my little. I always like to tell one funny little story. This elderly lady called me up. Her husband's scared of bees and thought he would jump off the ladder for the last little bit of painting they needed. And so they called me up, and I went down and I painted for an hour and a half, and I got a reward of a schooner, and the husband snuck me a cigarette. He's been smoking for a number of years. He bums a cigarette off me about once every 6 months. Keeps it on the sly from his wife. So I got a beer and a cigarette out of the whole thing, and the elderly gentleman did not fall off the ladder. So it all worked out perfectly. There's my little funny story. But everything's working really well out. In particular, I think, cross my fingers on the internet, and I've also continued having economic development meetings with particular interested people. There's a small group with significant expertise that I'm taking advantage of, and still trucking away on that. So things are going quite well. I'm still being requested for business plans and help here and there, but I don't know how many have come in or if even indeed any. But there's still interest in a number of possible economic ventures with the folks down there. So overall, I feel really good. Also this August, I actually had a bit of a holiday. I just like to mention that. I laid around and didn't work too hard. It was kind of, I had no meetings, and when I got called, it was like 20 minutes on the phone to solve any problems. So everything went very well, and I was quite happy about my holiday.
Laying around.
I am talking about how I slacked off in August. That's my council report. But I'm making up. I'm being punished now. In September. Lots to do. So that's that.
That's your report? Okay, thank you.
Sketchy report, was that what you said? I'm just...
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll be brief. I attended Port Days as well. I thought it was a good session to go to, and it was good to see the people from New Brunswick that came over and the opportunities that are here. And I'd like to see us continue to try to foster the partnerships between here and St. John. I met with the Jordantown Conway Acaciaville Betterment Association on the 16th of August, and was brought up earlier today. I met with, I went to Bear River on the 17th, and Bob Benson's got property up there, and he's building these nice little cottages down by the water on the old mill property. And he had a grand opening, and they've done a great job there. If you ever have a chance to get up there and see them, they're just small little cottages.
Is that where you go down in the flea market?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But it's
Is this Bob Benson, you said?
really nice, and it's right on the river. So that property has a lot of potential for the community. On the 18th, I participated in the Scallywag Run in Smiths Cove. It was a fundraiser for the fire department. And then, what was this one here? Seeing is Believing tour. Yes, I attended Seeing is Believing tour up in Tattamagush, which is was supposed to be on renewable energy. I must say that I was quite disappointed with the session. what they had in the brochure and what they were going to discuss was one thing, but what actually took place was another thing. I thought I'd go there and learn best practices from around the provinces and find out what's going on. I found out one thing: we're probably way farther ahead than anybody else, and I didn't learn anything. And basically, all they wanted to talk about was wind farms, and they had a tour of a wind farm that I didn't bother to go look at because we've got our own wind farm and already toured it.
We've looked at it plenty.
So I was disappointed with that, but anyway, I attended it, and I was kind of hoping to get more out of it, but it didn't happen. I had an AMA board meeting in Halifax on September the 6th.
AMA?
Association of Municipal Administrators in
Okay.
Nova Scotia. I sit on their board of directors. Then on, went too far. Excuse me just a second.
Good touchy.
Yeah, they are touchy. Leave it alone, I guess. We had a meeting, it was an Industrial Commission report to meet with a consultant we've hired on going forward, a strategy for the Industrial Commission, and we met on the 9th. We had met with the consultant prior to that, but he wanted to clarify what we were looking for, and we had to clarify to him exactly what we wanted, because I think he was looking at something different than what we originally asked him for. But then on the 10th, I had a meeting here in the municipal office with our CAO and representatives from the RCMP to meet with a resident up in Bear River in regards to the trucking, the logging issues that take place back in Morganville on the road there, and the concerns about the trucks traveling too fast and the noise that's generated from that. So I believe the RCMP were going to be talking to the provincial inspectors, and they will be looking at this issue that's been raised. It was an issue that was raised last year, and it hasn't been resolved 100% yet. And I also attended the Maud Lewis ceremony on the 14th. I thought that was really nice, and I want to commend Rob Hersey, our staff member, for the work he's done in regards to that file, and the work that the art gallery is finally come around, and they're working with us on trying to promote that. It took a long time for us to get that moving. I'm talking years, but it looks really nice what they've done there, and if you ever get a chance, if you haven't seen it, drop by, because they've got a picnic table there and they got benches there if you want to just have a break or whatever. But it was nice to go there when the flowers were still out, and the flowers around the building look nice. And then, like I said earlier, I attended that Altitudes East Aviation Conference in Halifax, which I thought was well worth going to. And that's it. So that's all we have for business. We have no in-camera, so I'll at this time ask, is there any questions from the press?
So I guess one, do I thought was the Canadian Senior Girls Championships?
Canadian seniors, yeah.
No other questions?
No.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to ask what kind of beer they gave me, a schooner.
You adjourn.
Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Talking about turbines.